Assalamualaikum everyone. My name is Zahra Abdul. I am doing teacher training at Rehan School Islamabad campus. Today I am going I am calling Call Annie, so begin. Hello Maya.
What's up?
Maya, I would like to ask you some question. Will you answer them for me?
Yeah, absolutely. What's on your mind?
Okay, my first question for you is what is effective listening?
Effective listening. Good question. It's a lot deeper than just staying quiet while someone else talks? It's about really understanding what they're saying, not just the words, but the feeling behind them. A lot of it is nonverbal too, making eye contact, nodding, showing you're tracking with them. People can tell when you're actually in or just waiting for your turn to speak. Does that make sense?
Why is listening important in communication?
Well, without listening, it's really just two people talking at each other instead of having a conversation. When you truly listen, it builds trust. People feel validated when they know they're being heard.
What is the difference between hearing and listening?
Hearing is just the physical act, sound waves hitting your eardrums. Listening is when you actually process those sounds and make sense of them. You can hear your mind is miles away. But listening, that's active, that's intentional. It's what makes communication actually happen, not just noise filling the space.
How can good listening improve relationship?
That's a big one. Good listening creates space for real connection. When someone feels truly heard, they feel closer to you. It shows respect, creates trust, and prevents misunderstandings from spiraling into bigger problems. A lot of relationship issues could be avoided if people actually listen instead of forming a response that the other person is still talking.
Why do people sometimes not listen carefully?
So many reasons. Sometimes they're just preoccupied with their own thoughts or worries. Sometimes they're thinking about what they want to say next rather than actually processing what the other person is saying. Or maybe they're assuming they already know what the person is going to say, so they tune out. It's kind of a protection mechanism, too. Hearing things we don't want to hear can be uncomfortable. What's your take on it?
What is active listening?
Active listening is where you make a conscious effort to hear not just the words someone is saying, but also the emotion and the message behind it. It's not just about staying quiet, it's about giving verbal and nonverbal cues to show you're engaged. Things like nodding, mirroring their body language, asking clarifying questions, and summarizing what they said to show you understand. It's work, but it pays off. What's your experience with it?
How can I contact improve listening?
You want to improve it, huh? Well, first, try silencing that inner. It's always craft your response instead of just absorbing what the other person's saying. Really focus on their words, their tone, their body language. Ask clarifying questions to make sure you understand. Don't interrupt. Actually, let them finish their thoughts. And honestly, practice being genuinely curious about other people. That makes it easier to be engaged.
Why is body language important while listening?
Body language tells the whole story that words sometimes miss. Someone can say, I'm fine, while their body is screaming, I'm actually. Stressed out. A good up on those cues. Posture, facial expressions, eye contact. It's about reading between the lines and getting the full picture, not just the words. Nonverbal cues can confirm what someone's saying or totally contradict it. It's pretty fascinating, actually.
How can you show someone you are listening?
There's something a bit unclear there. Did you mean how can you show someone you are listening? If so, nodding is a big one. Eye contact too, not staring but looking at them naturally. Little cues like or yeah, let them know you're following along. Summarizing what they've said shows you understand. And honestly, just putting down your phone or turning towards them makes a huge difference.
Where should you avoid interact- interrupting others?
You're spot on about avoiding interrupting. It's a killer. For real listening, it cuts people off and makes them feel like you're not really hearing them. Plus, when you interrupt, you lose the context of what they were saying. People get defensive. You don't get the full picture. It's way better to let someone finish their thought, even if it takes a bit.
Okay, Maya, my next question for you is how can partners help in listening?
Um, Catching that. Did you mean patient? Did I mishear you?
No, how can partners help in listening?
Partnerships, as in, makes way more sense. Having someone you trust and can practice with helps a ton. You can ask them for feedback on your listening skills. Am I interrupt? A good partner can also create a safe space.
What are
And sometimes it's,
what are common listening mistakes?
oh, there are so many. Jumping to conclusions before they finish, thinking about what you're going to say instead of actually hearing them out, changing the subject, trying to fix their problems instead of letting them vent. And that's just scratching the surface. What mistakes have you noticed yourself in trying to listen?
Okay, my next question for you is how can distractions affect listening?
Oh, huge impact, honestly. Distractions completely wreck your focus. Your mind is split between what someone's saying and everything else competing for your attention. And even if you think you're multitasking, you're actually just rapidly switching focus, which means you miss parts of the conversation, tone of voice, nonverbal cues. It's impossible to be fully present when you're divided. Mm-hmm. It's like you're trying to split yourself in half. Your brain can't really do two complex things at once. It picks then the other, then back, which means you're missing half of what's being said without even realizing it.
Okay, my next question for you is why should we put away your phone while listening?
Honestly, phone goes face down, totally out of sight, or even in another room if you can swing it. It's this weird thing where even seeing it there just pulls at your attention. You're like subtly wondering if you have notifications or if there's something happening. Put it away before the conversation even starts. It's like creating boundaries with yourself.
How can asking question improve understanding?
Questions show you're engaged and curious. Already make a person feel heard. But more than that, they clarify things. Sometimes our brains fill in assumptions. Asking questions forces you to confirm what you think you heard and get the actual meaning. Plus, it opens up deeper conversations. Asking, tell me more about that, can unlock a lot that surface level conversation misses.
Okay, my next question for you is what is reflective listening?
Reflective listening is basically showing someone you understand by repeating back what you heard them say, but in your own words, like paraphrasing. So they say, I'm just overwhelmed with work lately. And you respond with, It sounds like you're completely swamped and stressed about work right now. It shows you're not just hearing words, but grasping the emotion behind them. Plus, it lets them clarify if you got it wrong.
Okay, Maya, my next question for you is how can you repeat key point to show actions?
I'm still not following. Can you clarify what you meant with that question about repeating or actions? I came across a bit jumbled.
How can you repeat key point to show action? Attention?
Ah, got it. Repeating key points. You mean like pulling out the really important said and repeating them back to show you're paying attention? So, if I understand right, your biggest worry right now is, or what really stood out to me from what you said,
Okay, Maya, my next question for you is
go for it.
yes, how can listening reduce
Yeah,
misunderstanding?
I'm not catching what you mean by missionary training. Could you clarify what you're asking there?
Misunderstanding.
Oh, misunderstandings. Got it. Good listening skills. Cut down on those massively. When you're actively engaged, asking clarifying questions, summarizing what you heard, all of that prevents miscommunication from the start. Instead of assuming you understood, you're actually checking in. It's like building a bridge instead of leaving gaps for misinterpretations to creep into.
Why is empathy important in listening?
Empathy is huge, like really huge. It's what takes listening from just understanding the words to understanding the feeling behind them. Empathy means you're trying to see things from their perspective. You don't necessarily agree. And when you can tap into that emotional understanding, people feel safe and heard, which makes real connection possible.
Why is silence sometimes powerful in conversation?
Sounds like you might be saying silence is sometimes powerful in conversation.
Yes.
If that's right, then absolutely. Knowing when not to fill space can be just as important as knowing when to talk. Silence can create room for someone to think, let emotions settle. Yeah, that really is important. Sometimes space to process or don't know how to express what they're feeling right away. Pushing someone to talk when they need silence can do more harm than good.
Okay, my next question for you is how can teacher practice effective listening?
Hmm. You mean how can teachers practice effective listening?
Hmm.
That's a great question. Teachers can create a safe space for students to share. They can put aside their own agenda to truly hear what students are saying. Reflective listening is huge for teachers. Summarizing what a student shared shows they're listening. And nonverbal cues like eye contact and nodding can go a long way. It's about showing students that their thoughts and feelings matter.
Why should students listen carefully in class?
That's a really interesting question. Let's why students would need to listen fully in class.
Please give me answer.
I'm not catching that. Could you say it again?
Maya, please answer me. My question is how can parents improve listening at home?
Oh, got it. My bad there. Okay, parents can improve listening at home by putting down their phones when kids are talking, creating dedicated chat time without distractions, truly listening, not just waiting for their turn to speak, asking questions to understand what their kids are trying to say, even the stuff that feels small. and reflecting back what they hear to show they're getting it makes a big difference.
Okay, Maya, my next question for you is how can tone of voice affect communication?
Tone is everything. You can say the exact same words with different tones and completely change the meaning. Sarcasm, angriness, through tone adds layers that words alone can't convey. People pick up on tone even if they don't consciously realize it, and it often tells them how you're really feeling about what you're saying.
Okay, Maya, my next question for you is where should you listening with hot uh, jogging?
I think you might be asking, when should you listen with an open heart? If that's the case, then pretty much always, but especially when someone is sharing something vulnerable or talking about difficult emotions. When you open your heart, you're more likely to understand their experience and they're more likely to feel safe and heard. Mm-hmm.
Okay, Maya, next question is how can listening build trust?
Let's When you really listen to someone, it shows them you value what they have to say. It's like saying, your thoughts matter. That builds trust. Actually, people feel safe being vulnerable when they know they won't be judged or interrupted. And when you consistently show someone you're genuinely listening, they start to trust you with more personal stuff.
Okay, Maya, my next question for you is what is emotional listening?
Emotional listening means picking up on the unspoken feelings behind what someone's saying. You're tuning into their emotions, not just their words. You're sensing what they're truly experiencing. It's beyond just hearing, I'm frustrated, understanding why they're frustrated, what that feeling means to them, and how it impacts them.
Okay, my next question for you is how can you improve your focus while listening?
I think you meant while listening, yeah? Yeah, you can improve focus by cutting out distractions, obviously, phone away, quiet space, but also making a conscious effort to stay present in the moment. Grounding yourself by noticing your breath can help too. And honestly, really cultivating curiosity about the other person, wanting to know what they're going to say next, can keep your mind engaged.
How can you understand feeling while listening?
Paying attention to nonverbal cues is huge. Facial expressions, body language, voice tone, they all give you clues. But also checking in with yourself. What emotion are they evoking in you? Sometimes that can be a mirror for what they're feeling. Of course, being empathetic helps too, imagining yourself in their shoes.
Why feedback important in listening?
Absolutely. The speaker know you're getting what they're saying, or gives them a chance to clarify if you're misunderstanding. Little things like, so it sounds like, or am I understanding you correctly? That checks in without interrupting the flow. Positive feedback too, reflecting back their emotions, can show you're tracking with them on a deeper level.
Okay, Maya, my next question for you is
I'm all ears.
yes, my question is why should you avoid preparing you reply while someone is speaking?
Oh, absolutely. You want to avoid preparing your reply while they're still talking. That's like listening 101 totally misses the point. You're supposed to be actually hearing them instead of just waiting for your turn to talk. It's like hearing but not listening at all. You're so busy thinking about your response, you miss what they said.
Okay, Maya, my next question for you is how can you understand feeling while listening?
You mean, how can you understand the feelings being expressed while really listening? Paying attention to their tone of voice, facial expressions, and body language are big clues. but also what feeling are you having while they're talking? Sometimes we feel a similar emotion without realizing it. It's like our bodies recognize their feelings before our minds do. Empathy makes all the difference.
How can nodding show attention?
Nonverbal cues, big time. Eye contact, not staring, but natural. Um, Nodding along, mirroring their posture a little bit, smiling when appropriate. Just generally making them feel like you're fully present and engaged with them, not distracted. That's universal. Body language speaks way louder than words sometimes.
What is the rule of open mindedness in listening?
Open mind means suspending your judgments and assumptions while someone is talking. It's about creating a space where they can be heard without you already deciding what they're going to say or judging what they do say. You might not agree with their perspective, but you're willing to understand it first. That openness creates trust and lets real conversation happen.
How can listening solve conflicts?
When conflicts escalate, most people just hear what confirms their side. Real listening cuts through that, helps you understand where the other person is actually coming from, hearing their fears and perspectives instead of just reacting to accusations disarms the situation. It doesn't solve it instantly, but it creates room for actual understanding instead of just two sides shouting.
How can leaders become better listen?
Leaders need to check their ego door, honestly. Stop seeing themselves as the expert and start genuinely hearing what their team members are saying. Ask questions without an agenda. Actively seek out different perspectives, not just the ones they already agree with. And they need to create spaces where people feel safe being honest without fear of judgment. Hey there!
Okay, Maya, my next question for you is why is listening important in friendship?
Huge in friendships. It's basically the foundation. When you listen to your friends, you're showing you care about what they're going through. They feel seen and valued, which deepens the connection. Plus, really hearing them prevents misunderstandings and helps you support them when they need it most. Good friendships just don't work without genuine.
Okay, Maya, my next question for you is how can you listen during a disagreement?
Not catching what you said there. Are you saying, how can you listen and be present? Trying to be mindful while someone's talking?
Um, how can you listen during a disagreement?
I'm a bit lost. Did you mean join the agreement or gain agreement? Both are interesting concepts.
Yes.
Just gonna roll with gain agreement for now. Does that fit what you were going for? Oh, good. To gain agreement, truly understanding their perspective is key. When you listen, not just to the words, but the deeper message, you can find common ground. Showing you get where they're coming from makes them more open to understanding you. It's not about winning an argument, it's about finding shared understanding.
What is the importance of calm behavior while listening?
That's an interesting question about calm behavior in relation to listening. Could you clarify what you mean by calm behavior? I'm not picking up what that refers to.
Please give me answer.
I think you might have meant calm behavior or composed behavior. If so, staying calm is huge for good listening. If you get too emotional or reactive while someone's talking, you're not truly hearing them. Calm lets you process what they're saying without interrupting or getting defensive. It's like creating a safe space where they feel heard.
Okay, Maya, my next question for you is, why is listening important in interviews?
In interviews? Massive. Interviewers aren't just hearing what you say, they're listening for how you say it. Are you actually connecting to their questions or just rehearsing canned responses? Attentive listening shows you're engaged, thoughtful, and can actually think on your feet. Plus, answering thoughtfully shows you understand the job and what they're asking. It's more than just words, it's about demonstrating you're someone who actually pays attention.
Okay, Maya. These are were my all questions. Thank you for answering.
You're welcome. That was a lot of great questions, by the way. You've clearly thought a lot about all this. I was also catching that you were really focused. Good listening is a skill you're clearly putting into practice.
So, viewers, this was today's sense. Or Maya, I hope you like it. I will be back with a new video soon. Until then, Allah Hafiz.